All right, what's up, everybody? We are on season 4, episode 13 of Attack on Titan, called Children of the Forest. We've only got a couple of episodes really left for this first part of season 4. I'm expecting quite a climactic couple of episodes, I gotta say, going into the second part. But that's the thing, man. Everything has kind of been coming together, and at the same time, it's been a lot coming together, so to say. We've been approaching things from so many different angles. So many new characters that were introduced where their true allegiances and motivations are still somewhat unknown to me, like everything is basically coming into play, from deception to assassinations, defections. It's absolutely crazy. And I talked about that last episode, of course, how it really started to get some insane, an insane sort of political direction, everything. And it's just like, yeah, again, it sort of brings me back in a way to my state of mind that I used to have basically at the very beginning of the show, where I had to quickly learn to basically let go a lot of the time, right? Because with this show, I was always so desperate to sort of want to grasp everything and already sort of understand, what was going on. But again, like, I had to very quickly learn that that was simply impossible, and answers were going to be sort of like delayed until a long time to come. I think it was around season 3 and 4 that I really started feeling a lot more comfortable with the show, because those gaps in the timeline were being filled up, and because we finally started to see the bigger picture and who exactly we were dealing with, what the situation was actually, right? And so, yeah, again, now with the amount of sides that we're seeing the show explore, it's once again just this thing where, like, man, it's very difficult to sort of focus or stay focused and really understand the full scope of it all. Because, of course, where do I even start? I mean, maybe the easiest thing would be to start with Eren. So Eren is kind of defected, right? He actually broke free from his prison cell, and he figured, and I think rightfully so, in all honesty, that the military police was very eager to just have him replaced, because they didn't trust him anymore after his plan at the beginning of season 4, and basically going his own way already and sort of like forcing everybody to go with his plan. So, simply for that reason, he actually had to break himself free. Thankfully, he has some people on his side, like Flock and a couple of other people, right, who are basically helping him with that. And what their goal actually then seems to be is kind of the question. I mean, from what I gather, it's basically to get them to team up with Zeke or something, right? Or to actually find Zeke, because that means they can bring together the Founding Titan and somebody of royal blood. What does that mean? They can actually unleash the rumbling that has been teased all this time, and it's basically a nuclear bomb. And I would figure that it means really what they want is freedom for the Eldians, meaning they have to destroy the rest of the entire world along with it. And this is, of course, how they can use what they can use the rumbling for. So, very, interesting. And I wonder again, like, what's going to happen in that regard. Now, at the same time, of course, we are basically stuck here with the Survey Corps now being led, or I don't know. Yeah, I think it's actually the Survey Corps and the military police. Sort of like the overall leader is now Pixis, because Zachary got assassinated by seemingly some of Eren's people. And Pixis basically figures, like, we don't have a choice. We have to actually negotiate with Eren, and that's the thing. Eren doesn't actually know where Zeke is. We've got him locked up somewhere in the forest, right? Historia is also of royal blood, and she's kind of in an undercover location that nobody knows about. So, really, Eren can't do much yet except negotiate with us, and maybe we can still kind of come up with a plan. Mikasa and Armin are very sort of awkwardly stuck in the middle there, where yeah, like all this time has been a little bit strange to or difficult to follow there too, because it's like, well, what did they actually want, right? I mean, it seems like all they think is that just stalking it out with Eren is going to convince him to change his mind. But I get the feeling like Eren is already past that, and he's basically made up his mind already. But still, what his full plan is, or again, like how he will then. Because before this, he never really saw eye to eye with Zeke, and he didn't actually want to go along with his plan. So I still wonder, like, okay, if he now gets to Zeke, can they work something out together there, right? That's the question. While this is all going on, we've got basically the Eldians in Marley well, not anymore maybe, but Reiner and Peak and Porco, they're all planning a surprise attack because they figure that Zeke would have never seen this coming. Because of course they were all damaged basically, and so the last thing that they would expect is for them to actually like unleash an attack now. But we've already seen again at the end of last episode that like Peak is in there with a newspaper, and I love the parallels once again to basically how we started the season with Aaron going on the cover, and I think we even saw in a scene in season 1 that it was like a brief glimpse that it was supposedly like Jean there with a newspaper or something like that. They're just doing the same thing once again. So seemingly they are basically already there, and we're gonna have to see what comes out of that. Now, at the same time, this is the thing. Again, I have a couple more sides actually to go into. So, my biggest question still is, what's up with Zeke? Like, what actually is his plan, right? And because from what I gather, and of course he's kind of using a different character who we've been seeing now, Yelena, I'm still not sure how to pronounce her name, but she seems to be kind of on his side and executing his plans for him or something, while he is locked up there. Zeke really is this like know-it-all god type character where I get the impression like he knows, he planned this out. He's playing 4D chess with everybody and he planned this out from the start or something. And yeah, again, like the question is, has he been planning all of this, or is some of it still gonna like come out as a surprise to him? He did talk last time as well about how he did have some miscalculations, which was of course Gabby and Falco. Actually, maybe those are still the miscalculations, but who knows? Because of course that's the thing. Gabby and Falco are also at play here. They're with Sasha's family. They're now heading to this to this restaurant, and that's also what they've been talking about. So they figure that like Yelena is executing tasks maybe for Zeke. She put a lot of these Marleyan prisoners to work in these restaurants, and what for? Now, I remember that scene a couple of episodes back, that those Marleyan people were sort of like serving wine to some of the military police or something, I think it was, and I questioned, are they trying to poison them? Now, I don't think they actually were, because we saw one of those soldiers still in the most recent episodes, and I also figured like if they actually had poisoned them in that moment, people would have found out about it, and we would have been observing how a lot of people around us were basically getting killed out of nowhere or something, right? So I wonder, what have they actually been feeding them? Is it, maybe it's some type of like poison that doesn't activate until later? And so everybody is going to suddenly start dropping or something, or what's going on? Like again, Gabby and Falco actually heading to one of these restaurants. I think this is what Hanji talked about. Like, okay, they're going to head into or go to some of these restaurants now as well to look into it. Yeah, and again, we know that Aaron is out there. We know that Reiner and Peak and Porco could strike at any moment basically, and Colt and all the people coming with them. So all of it is sort of seemingly clashing very soon, and I'm very excited to see where it goes. Again, it's super hard to sort of make predictions for, because I just honestly don't know where it leads, and it's kind of too much to guess like how it all comes together then, right? But yeah, that being said, it's fascinating once again, and I all I can really say is like hats off to the creator Isayama, who like manages to put all of this together. I can't imagine how much work must have gone into this, because planning all of this out and seemingly sort of like doing it from the start, it's like, I don't want to know how many years he spent on that, you know what I mean? But yeah, that being said, very excited, of course, to get into it. Of course, the next 8 episodes will already be up over on Patreon, so over there you can watch up until episode 21 right now. If you enjoy my reactions, your support is, of course, very much appreciated. It's linked on top of the description, along with full-length reactions and OVAs. So yeah, go check that out. And then for now, let's dive into episode 13 here, called Children of the Forest. Here we go. What is happening here? A gas weapon? Is this how they've been... Oh. Oh, so this is how he turned all those people into titans. Wow, I love how I actually thought back to that recently.
この島に希望をもたらすことは叶わなかっただろう。
当の人命に興味がねえのは確かだ。
お前モテねえだろう。勝手に人の気持ちを。
Oh, Levi doesn't care too much about popularity, I think.
ああ、そうかい。それで、俺とエレンがあって、いつまでも時間があると思っているなら、間違いだと伝えろ。
それだけは同じ意見だ。
Huh. Interesting what side Levi is gonna pick then.
それは本当なのか
If any.
すごい建物。こんなとこ初めてだ。俺も。
よかったな、お前たち。
今日はうんと食うときなさいよ。
どげんしたかんべや。ケソケソしてから。
いや、本当にこんなところにマーレの捕虜が働いてるの？本当だから堂々としててよ。兵士もよく利用するところなの。
マーレ人の知り合いができるだけでも心強いよ。
So what are they gonna be serving them? Something too? Something not good? I don't know. Maybe they'll recognize what they're serving them?
あの人を頼ってみて。お姉ちゃんはブラウスさんの娘で兵士だったの。お墓に来ていたニコロさんがお姉ちゃんに食べてもらうはずだった料理を振る舞わせてほしいって。
Right.
私、二人が恋人同士だったと思ってるけどね。
There comes the aggression again.
ニコロ、お前に客だぞ。
こんな時に誰だ？
調査兵団。
Oh, here we go.
お前らか。どうした？休養か？俺は今大事なお客さんの相手で忙しいんだ。
義勇兵が拘束された件だ。聞き取り調査に協力してくれ。
ああ、わかった。
これは兵団内で噂のワインか。何でも上官たちしか飲めねえ。
Okay, okay. They're gossiping about the wine too.
ああ、俺たちだって美味しい思いしたっていいだろう。ちょっとくらい。
I wouldn't take it, yeah.
なんだよニコロ。ちょっとふざけただけじゃねえか。
Okay, I guess he's reluctant to give it to them as well.
これはエルディア人にはもったいない代物なんだよ。そういうてめえは何様なんだよ。お前の立場は
捕虜の分際でってか。これでおあいこだな、エルディア人。
今だ。
お腹が痛い。トイレに行けば助かるかもしれない。
私もお兄ちゃんを助けられるかもしれない。頑張って。
Good luck.
トイレはこっちじゃないよ。
トイレに用はありません。ニコロさん。
私たちはマーレから来ました。戦士候補生です。
大攻勢が仕掛けられると思われます。
それまでどうか耐えてください。そしてこのことを仲間のマーレ人に伝えてください。
I think he might already be in on it.
どうして戦士候補生がここにいるんだ？
私たちは退却する敵の飛行船に飛び乗ったままこの島に上陸しました。
誰か殺したか？女の兵士を。
仕留めました。数匹駆除した程度、卑怯な悪魔どもには絶対に。何よ。
お前が。
Oh shit.
お前がサシャを殺したのか。
Oh my god.
大丈夫？ハルコ。
Yo. Oh no, it's reaching his mouth. He's not actually dead just from that, right? Oh shit.
サシャを殺したのはこいつです。あなたの娘さんの命を奪いました。まだガキですが、厳しく訓練されたマーレの兵士です。
娘。
Yeah, she didn't even know.
ブラウスさん、どうぞ。
Yeah, I don't see Mr. Browse doing that though.
構いませんね。
大変だ。来てくれみんな。何？
Oh no, and they're witnessing them here too now.
どういうことだニコロ。そいつは逃亡中と聞いていたが。
やめて。ファルコは違うの。
お前の大事な人が、俺にも大事な人がいた。エルディア人だ。悪魔の末裔だ。だが彼女は誰よりも俺の料理をうまそうに食った。本当の俺なんだと教えてくれた。それがサシャ・ブラウス。
Oh wow.
お前に生まれた彼女の名前だ。
私だって大事な人たち。
He really appreciated her that much for that, right?
ブラウスに撃ち殺された。目を覚まして。あなたはマーレの兵士でしょ。きっとその悪魔の女に惑わされてる。悪魔なんかに負けない。
Oh man. It really is just tragedy all around. What is he gonna do with that? Throw it away.
そこまでです。ブラウスさん。刃物を置いてください。
サシャは狩人やったけど、同じ生き方が続けられん時代が来ることは分かっとったから、サシャを森から外に生かした。結局森を出たつもりが、世界は命に奪い合いを続ける巨大な森の中やったんや。森をさまようたからやと思ってる。せめて子供たちはこの森から出してやらんといかん。
What a way of putting it.
そうやないと、また同じところをぐるぐる回るだけやろ。
It's all one big forest.
罪や憎しみを背負うんは
It's all one big forest and she wandered in it for too long.
ミア、大丈夫か？
本当に。
Wow. Asking her if she's okay. Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, makes sense that Kaya actually would feel differently. She was rescued by her. Ah, that's so fucked up.
すっかりメインが冷めちまったな。ハンジさん、そのガキの口をゆすいでやってくれ。あのワインが入っちまった。
え？
もう手をかけると思うけど。
あのワインには。
Okay, and this is how she figures this out too.
多分
Seek spinal fluid. So it turns them into titans.
近くイエーガー派の要求通りエレンをジークの元まで案内する手はずとなっております。
ピクシスがおとなしく従うって。エレンを他のやつに食わせるつもりなんだろう。俺たちの手で。その度に何人もの仲間が死んだ。
Wow, I love this shot.
人類が生き残る希望だと信じて。そう。信じた結果。
Oh my god, that's so awesome. We're seeing like previous moments reflected in the
俺
trees.
たちが見てた希望ってのは一体何だったんだ。
That might be the most creative shot I've seen in the whole show yet.
冗談じゃねえ。ワインにジークの脊髄液が入ってるって。
このワインは第1回調査船から大量に積まれていた。
Yep.
短期の調査船には不要な酒と量だった。料理人としての立場が安定して、
I don't think you can get it out anymore that way.
兵団組織高官らに優先して振る舞うよう言われたんだ。
誰からだ？
イエレナだ。
Yep.
俺の知る限りじゃ、あいつだけがそう働きかけてた。
ジークの脊髄液を飲んだエルディア。
Oh, right. They were supposed to do that like immediately.
ジークがそう言っただけだ。誰もその現場を見たわけじゃないから確かめようがない。だけど、たった一言で済むその嘘の効果は絶大だ。
いや、でも、それはお前がそう思っただけなんだろう。
ああ、確証はない。でも、マーレ兵なら知っている。ジークの脊髄液が今までどんな使われ方をしたのか。10年ほど前、
マーレは敵国の首都を一晩で落とした。そんなことでも企んでなきゃ。なんであの怪しいワインを兵団のお偉方に飲ませなきゃいけないのか。
さっき俺からあのワインを取り上げたのは俺たちを守るためか。
さあ何をやってんだろうな俺は。こんなことばらしちまったら長生きなんてできねえだろうに。
でもブラウスさん、あなたみたいにはまだ俺はなれないけど、これがせめてもの償いになれば。子供を殺すなんてどうかしてました。
あんたたちの大切な仲間を殺したのは私。看守を石でめった打ちにしたのも私。悪くは違うから、殺すのは私だけでいいでしょ。
殺すって君はそればっかり。
Yeah.
誰かとそっくりだ。
Oh. What the fuck? God damn, man. You just so don't see it coming. Oh shit, they were all in there.
あなたはジークの居場所を知っているはずです。そこまで道案内をしてもらいます。その申し出は断りました。我々は兵団と交渉しない。ピクシス司令は我々に島の命運を委ねるような賭けはしない。我々を道案内する道中でエレンから始祖を奪う算段を立てるのに今頃大忙しでしょ
う。妄想が過ぎるよ。
He might be kind of right.
兵団内にいるお仲間がフロック聞くんだ。私たちは仲間同士で争い合っている場合じゃない。ジークの脊髄液が混入したワインが兵団内で振る舞われた。
バカな憲兵どもがでかいバカになるだけでしょう。もういいですか。
憲兵団が飲まされたとは言ってないぞ。まさかワインのこと知ってたの？
Oh shit. Oh my god, Flock. Yo. That face he put on, a little bit creepy, man. Did they already have a talk or what? And we will see what that conversation was in the next episode then. Once again, another absolutely fantastic episode. And by the way, guys, I want to quickly say, because I noticed just now after recording the reaction here that like some parts were a little bit laggy or something. I think it's because I've been setting up a new PC actually, so my whole setup basically changed and I had to literally reinstall all the programs and everything. And for some reason, it seemed like I had selected some settings wrong, and so I don't know, that caused that to happen. So my apologies for that. I don't think it's going to be too bad though from what I saw. It's just like a couple of parts that lagged out slightly or something. But yeah, that being said, this episode, man, I absolutely loved it. It, like, I don't know, it cleared up so many things, right? And yeah, kind of like definitely got rid of some of my question marks. So that was nice, you know, for a change again. And made me able to sort of grasp everything again a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, especially again, like I was already into it from the first 2 minutes because we finally got that question answered of like, how did those people in the village, Ragako it was called, I think, how did they turn into titans? This is actually a question that I'd been asking myself a couple of episodes back after the information we got in that, I remember. It brought me back literally to that moment, and here we actually see it finally answered. So, okay, so what Zeke basically described is that on these people, he used some type of gas that contained his spinal fluid in the same way that he's doing it now, of course, with the wine. That caused those people to freeze up, and then what he would do is, and the freezing up part, apparently, like, that's something that he might have been lying about because it didn't actually happen to the military police people who, of course, got his spinal fluid through the wine and stuff. So, again, like, this is the thing, Zeke, obviously. Wasn't that even what, did Pixis talk about that? Or who was it a couple episodes back? Like, if you're telling a lie, make sure there's some elements of the truth mixed into it. That's totally what Zeke is doing here, right? Like, some parts make sense and others are actually wrong, what he's saying, you know? But yeah, I guess that was, again, like, that's just to let people know that, like, oh, if it had anything to do with the spinal fluid, then they must have frozen up, right? And, like, so here they wouldn't suspect anything because people didn't get frozen up or something. Am I still making sense? Whatever. But this is the thing, he has this ability then, and that's what I found very sort of weird. He has this ability, and we saw him use it already a couple times. I think he used it in season 3 when we saw suddenly him sort of like spawning these titans seemingly out of nowhere, right? And in season 4 at the beginning of the season, and that moment kind of went a little bit... like it slipped past me without even really thinking too much about it, but he literally turned people into titans there as well with his like scream or something. And I think how he described it is like that he used what did he say, like he communicated with the coordinate through paths or something he talked about. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, the coordinates should be Eren, right? And then the paths are what they describe, like these it's been described a couple of times I think in the show, like how we can actually see these, I forget what that's called, but like literally these pathways towards the coordinate, then his location basically or something. But again, like exactly what that is or how that works, I still don't really know. But I guess that's just, again, an ability that he has as the Beast Titan, is that if he injects people with his spinal fluid and then uses that particular scream that he has or something, then yeah, he can actually turn them into titans. Of course, what I love so much about the episode here is just like seeing how, you know, people will react to a situation so differently, and the people initially that you think will turn themselves against characters end up being okay with them or like giving them another chance or something, and then the people who've been helping them all this time turn against them, right? So somebody like Kaya, very tragically, how she like started going after Gabby and literally wanted to kill her in that moment there when she'd been helping them all this time. It makes sense because she was literally saved by Sasha, right? And you know, we're seeing how Sasha's family is much more forgiving. That dad guy too. I love the sort of analogy, or I'm not sure how to use, you know, like how to call it, but what he said there about like it's all one big forest. I love that because it's the same conclusion that I keep reaching. Like everything about it is just tragic, dude. It's like there are no sides. It's all fucked up. It's, you know, everything sucks. And he basically said that by saying it's all one big forest, and Sasha had just been wandering in it for too long. So eventually, I guess what that means is like everybody who stays too long in this war, like the only thing that comes out of it is victims, right? And yeah, and you know, sacrifices that have to be made, people that have to be killed. It's fucking fantastic line, you know, delivery, honestly. Yeah, and again, it's like cool to see how Niccolo, you know, in one way he should be basically against the Eldians, right? And he's been serving the military police, that wine and stuff, knowingly. Then at the same time, he cared for Sasha. And why? Because Sasha appreciated his food. And we saw that, you know, a couple episodes back, how she really always gave him compliments about it and stuff. And it made him appreciate her so much. Yeah, then let's see. I'm just scrolling through the episode to make sure that I get everything. Of course, the big moment is Eren suddenly coming into the picture there, which I totally did not see coming. It's interesting because he showed his hand like being wounded, and I'm like, wait, so he's doing that once again as a threat? Even to like Mikasa and Armin? Like, I could turn into a Titan at any moment if you don't let me talk here or something? Or what was that about? Flock apparently, like he was even, like I don't know if he was actually in on it, or if he was simply aware of what was going on with the wine and everything like that. But no matter what, I mean, he didn't care. Again, like he was all about that anyway, right? Like he was about defecting, and he didn't mind in the slightest what they were doing to the military police people. So the question is, of course, like what is Eren going to talk about here with Mikasa and Armin? Is he going to try and get them to basically join his side? That's what I assume he's doing here. Like he's he's basically figured like, okay, this is the direction that I'm going to be heading into. And now it's up to me to convince Mikasa and Armin to join me. I'm going to give them a chance to join me. And if not, then he might literally just like turn himself against them or something. Or what like that's what I wonder about. Yeah. All that I can say, once again, another fantastic episode. Absolutely loved it. And I'm going to dive into the next one here and already can't wait to see where it's going to go there. Of course, the next 8 episodes will already be up over on my Patreon, which is linked on top of the description. Over there, you can watch up until episode 21 right now, along with full-length reactions and OVAs. If you enjoy my reactions, then your support is, of course, very much appreciated. But then, with that being said, I want to thank you all for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you back in the next episode.